Hello. I'm doing this video into response of a man. We kind of going back and forth. My videos about black men hating on black women. Well, this man, he just can't get enough of me, I guess. We and him, we just keep going back and forth. And my response, I'm doing a video response to Vaio294. Vaio294, because I have quite a bit to say, and I didn't want to type it all out, because it's like, it just seems like, man, you ain't cutting me no slack. I mean, it's like everything, I told you to go back and listen to. You said I wasn't doing videos on, addressing black women hating on black men, and I told you, yes, I did. When I first came on here, I did. And you went back and you had something to say about that. Well, I still love you, brother. I still love you. I don't know who you are, but I still love you. And I will say this. I do appreciate you coming on here and expressing your opinion, even though I don't agree with everything you're saying. I appreciate you with doing that with respect. I will say that. I appreciate you for coming on here, expressing your opinions, although I don't agree with them all, but you're doing it with respect, out of respect, and you're respecting me, and you're not calling me out of my name, and I will say that I appreciate that, because some of the brothers has been coming on here, and they've been disrespectful to me, calling me, out of my name and all that, and I appreciate you for not doing that. I will say that. However, into your response to some of the comments that you made, you said it was interesting, because you said, one of them, you said black women have been conditioned by society to disrespect black men. I want to address that one. You said something about black women working in Walmarts, or et cetera, Walgreens, et cetera, talk to black men, disrespect black men at every turn that they get. If they're working in those type of areas, they're disrespecting black men. It's interesting that you say that, because I used to work in, I live here in Michigan, and they have a store called Myers. It's just like Walmart, but it's mainly in the Midwest. It's not all over the country. They're mainly in the Midwest, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky. The Myers stores are in the Midwest. And I used to work at a Myers store. I mean, they're exactly like Walmart, except they're Myers. It's like a superstore, groceries and Kohl's and all that. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I used to work in that store. I worked there for, as a matter of fact, I worked there for 4.5 years till I quit. I repeat, until I quit. I didn't get fired. Okay? I used to be a cashier, and I have you to know that I treated everybody with respect. I treated everyone with respect. Everybody. It makes no difference who they was, white, black, female, male, white, female. It didn't matter. I treated everybody with respect that came through my lane. And I'm a people person, so sometimes I start a conversation, and black men came through my lane just like everybody else, and I treated them with respect. So I don't recall meeting you at any time in my life. I don't think I've ever met you. So I don't know how you can make such a broad generalization and say that every black woman that works in the service industry disrespects black men, because I had, when I did that job, I treated everyone with respect. Okay? Even when some people wasn't treating me with respect, I treated everybody with respect, because I know how to talk to people. First of all, I know how to talk to people, and I don't go around disrespecting people. Whether they're black, white, male, female, doesn't make a difference, because that's just not who I am. I'm not like that. If a brother speaks to me, I speak to him back. And depending on who you are, I might carry on a conversation with you. I've done that. I met a man at the gym like that. Where I met him one day, and he spoke to me. I spoke to him, and We just started talking. I talk, we every time he see me, he speaks to me, and you know, so it's all in how you carry yourself. I carry myself with respect. I treat people with respect, and I was raised that way, and I'm trying to be a Christian, so that's the way Jesus would do, and I'm trying to cultivate that Jesus-like personality. So I'm doing what Jesus would do, and that's just the way I am as a person. I'm not a disrespectful person. I don't go around disrespecting people. So see, and I know a lot of other black women that's not like that either. It's like I know another black lady. She's married, by the way. Oh my, she is a doll. Okay, this woman is an absolute doll, and she's married, mind you, to a black man, mind you. Thank you. So I don't recall you meeting her either. So it's interesting how you say black women as a whole. I noticed you said black women as a whole. So you mean when you say as a whole, you're talking about all of us? Again, I don't remember meeting you anywhere. No, have we met? I don't think so. So you mean to tell me you've met um, the millions of black people in this country, black women in this country, and uh, you got to know them to come to this broad generalization and say every black women as a whole. Okay, that's because when you say as a whole, you're meaning all. You're talking about all black women. Okay, not correct. Not correct, because I don't recall meeting you. Okay, so you're not talking about me, because I don't disrespect black men or anybody else in the public. There's times I've been disrespected in public, but I don't. Okay, hello. So I just wanted to clear that up with you. Another thing, you said society or black women have been conditioned. In other words, brainwashed. Um, I think to a point, to an extent, first of all, I do believe that some black women probably are conditioned. I think to an extent, some black people are brainwashed, with black females and black males. Notice I said some, not all. Some black people, as like myself, know better, okay? At least have a clue. I do have a clue, okay? There's some black men that have a clue. So I'm not going to say all black people. Some black people, I do believe that you're partially correct, that yes, some black women probably are conditioned to disrespect the black man, but not all of us, okay? Because, I know better, okay? I got it all figured out. Well, I don't have it all figured out, but I have a lot of things figured out, and I know better, okay? So, you're not talking, and once again, you're not talking about me. I think that black men are brainwashed as well, because I think they've been conditioned to put the white woman up on a pedestal, to think she's the epitome of womanhood. Like that's what the white man been doing since the beginning of time. And I think a lot of black men have been conditioned to do that and to put this white woman up on a pedestal and say she's the epitome of womanhood, and to shoot down the black woman and put up the white woman. And I think a lot of black men have, in my opinion, a lot of black men have been conditioned to do that. They seem to think that a lot of buying into the white man's belief that the white woman is better than the black woman, which ain't nobody better than nobody. They're not better. We're not better than them. Nobody's any better than anybody. Okay, so I happen to think a lot of black men are brainwashed and conditioned to think that. And it's I think the media has a lot to do with that, and I think to some extent black women are brainwashed, conditioned, and brainwashed. As far as you got some black women going around with blonde hair and like some certain entertainers and everything, and try to look white because. So I'm not going to go into all that because that's a whole other blog. But the bottom line is, once again, you're not talking about me, and you're not talking about a whole lot of black women. It's like you say, you accuse me of being biased and being generalistic. But if you go back, you need to go back. First of all, you need to go back and listen to all my videos, because and I can't remember which one it is, but one of my videos I am addressing black women. I'm talking about responsibility, taking responsibility. And yes, I believe wholeheartedly that everybody needs to be held accountable for their actions. I believe that everybody needs to take responsibility for their own mistakes, their own actions, and that includes black women. Okay, I didn't exclude black women from that. Okay, I'm not letting black women off the hook, contrary to what you may believe. I'm not letting sisters off the hook. I do think a lot of times black women do make bad choices. Yes, absolutely. Black women make bad choices, including myself. I've made some bad choices in my lifetime, and I take responsibility for those choices. Okay? Um, I think a lot of times we don't make good decisions in our selection. First of all, I think where we're messing up at is that we're not heeding Bible counsel and saving ourselves until marriage, until we find a marriage mate to have sex. First of all, right off the bat, we're messing up there. Second of all, we're getting with men that don't respect us or anything like that, and we're having children that don't have the characteristics, don't have good character enough to even be in our beds, let alone to be a father to our children. So, yes, yeah, absolutely. A lot of black women need to take responsibility. A lot of black women. I'm doing a series on my videos called "Confessions of a Single Mother," where I'm trying to reach out to these young ladies out here, black ladies, young women in general, about the consequences of having sex outside of marriage, and how you're gonna. It leads to years and years of struggle as a single mother. So you need to listen to those blogs too. So I am addressing black women. I got one where I'm talking about true definitions of a woman, and I'm talking to the women about being modest in their dress and all that. So see, you need to look at all my videos, all of them. Just sit down, get yourself a cup of coffee, and just listen to all of them, because I'm addressing a lot of those things in different videos. It's just that they're titled, but I'm addressing those things. So just sit down and have yourself a cup of coffee and just relax and listen. Take the time to listen to all my videos, and you'll learn. I'll give you some enlightenment. Okay. So I appreciate that I have a fan on here, because I mean, you just like you just I'm getting a lot of responses from you. You ain't cutting me no slack, brother. That's woo. But anyway, and then you said something about another thing I wanted to address. You said something about black women don't just the difference between when I don't want to go into all that, but black women in the home, it don't just you can't live with a black woman because she's disrespectful to her man in the home and all this. That's another thing. How do you know that? I'd like to ask you that. You mean to tell me you've lived with every black woman in this country? Every black woman that have you? That's interesting, brother, because I don't recall living with you. Have you lived with every black woman in this country to make such a broad generalization, to say that all of us are impossible to live with? Come on now. Have you lived with every black woman in this country? How do you know that? I'd like to know how you know that. Okay? It's interesting. And I think what you're doing is you're basing it on the black women that you've met. Okay? You're basing it on the black women that you've met, that you've encountered in your lifetime. And I have to say that you say you want me to talk about black women need to take responsibility for their choices. Yes, black women do. black men also need to take responsibility for their choices as well. And we are, when I say we, I'm talking about everybody. Black women, black men, white men. We are the common denominator of our relationships. We are the common denominator of you are the common denominator of your relationships. So if you've ran into these type of black women, you have to ask yourself, what is it about me that I'm attracting these types of women? You have to examine yourself. It's just like I've had some bad relationships with black men. Well, I had to do some soul searching and say, well, this is a pattern for me to get these types. What is it about me that I'm getting with these kind of black men? Okay, I think a lot of it stems from I didn't have a father growing up, so it caused me to make, it happens to be the two fathers of my children happen to be the type of man that my father was. Absent. So, so I had to take a look at that. It's like, okay, what is it about me why am I getting with these kind of guys? So, you are the common denominator of all your relationships. Okay, so you have to figure out what is it in you that's attracting these kind of black women, because there's good black women out there, brother, that won't disrespect you or whatever. They're out there, but it's you're not hooking up with them and you're not meeting them. It's because maybe there's something about you that is not attracting them. So we are the common denominator of our relationships, so you need to examine that. Like Michael Jackson say, start with the man in the mirror. So, I think it's interesting because, you don't like to be generalized, but you keep generalizing black women in your responses. And so, my point is, you haven't met every black woman in this country to make those generalizations. You're making broad generalizations about black women, and you have not met every black woman in this country. And yes, I do believe that there's a lot of black women that disrespect black men, and I'm pissed off at those sisters because they're making me look bad and making a lot of other black women look bad. But that I am not me and a lot of sisters that I know are not representative of those black women. Okay, we're not representative of them. So stop putting us in the same box that they are in. That's reverse racism. You're being discriminatory. And that's not fair. I don't deserve it, and neither does a lot of other black women deserve that. Call it like you see it. I know a lot of black men that are deadbeat dads. But am I going to say all black guys are like that? No. If you go back to listen to my videos, I'm giving, I think in more than one or two of my videos, I'm giving my cousin mad props. Because my cousin is an excellent dad. And I'm giving him mad props on, he's like one of the best black fathers I've seen. And I've mentioned that in my videos as well. So I know there's some good black fathers out there. So why am I going to put them in the same box as the deadbeats? Unfortunately, there's, more deadbeats than they are. We got too many of them in the black community. But am I going to say all black men are like that? No, absolutely not. It's not fair to the ones that are being there for their children. So I call it like I see it. If you're black man and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then yeah, I'll give you your props. But if you ain't doing right, no. And as far as black women being disrespectful, I think it depends on the person. I think a true Christian, a black woman that is a true Christian, and she knows what the Bible says about the headship arrangement, meaning, understanding the headship arrangement as described in the Bible as the man being the head of the household. I think if a woman is a true Christian and she truly understands that, then no, she's not going to be disrespectful to her husband. If she is a true Christian woman, and notice I said true Christian. I don't mean If she ain't no true Christian, then no. Or she out in the world, then no, she might not fully understand. But if she is a true Christian black woman and she understands the headship arrangement that is talked about in the Bible, and she truly understands that, then she will honor, love, and respect her husband. Plain and simple. So it's just that, your Christian black women that are true Christians, if they understand the headship arrangement and everything, then no, they won't be disrespectful to the black man in the home. Another thing that you said that kind of got my goat was, you said a black woman should show unconditional love. Um, I have issues with that. You love your children unconditionally. You don't love your mate unconditionally. There's no such thing as loving a mate unconditionally. No such thing. What is the definition of unconditional love? Unconditional love is, I'm going to love you no matter what you do to me. I'm going to still be with you and be your mate, be with you no matter what. You can beat the holy crap out of me. I'm still going to be with you and I'm still going to love you. You can cheat with 100 women on me and I'm still going to be with you and I'm still going to love you. Okay? You can darn near kill me and I'm still going to love you and I'm still going to be with you. That's what you mean when you're talking about unconditional love? No. If a black woman or any woman for that matter knows her worth, she's not going to sit there and keep taking that abuse. Because that's what, you love your children unconditionally. You don't love a mate unconditionally. In the relationships comes with conditions. Okay, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Relationships come with conditions. Okay, and that's just the way it is. If you're with a black woman and she's disrespecting you, calling you out your name, treating you like dirt, are you going to still love her? Are you going to love her unconditionally? Let me flip that question around back to you. If she's disrespecting you, dogging you out, cheating on you, the worst black woman you ever met in your life, are you going to love her unconditionally? I think not. You're going to leave her. So why would you expect us to be with a black man after, no matter what he takes us through, we still going to love him and be with him? Because that's what you mean when you say unconditional love. No, you love your children unconditionally. You love God unconditionally. You love your parents unconditionally. You don't love a mate unconditionally. There's conditions when it comes to relationships. There's conditions. Okay, that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm a lover man, but if he start going upside my head, cheating on me, abusing me, that love is gonna break down. Because you know what? You're not showing me any love. If you're mistreating me and abusing me, then that means you don't love me. So why am I love somebody that don't love me? Okay, you got to love yourself. And if that means that if you say I'm not a good black woman or black women are bad, well, because if anything, we're not going to put up with the same things that maybe some other races of women would put up with. We're not going to put up with it, okay? So if a lot of times black men get upset because we won't put up with what other women would put up with. No, it's called knowing our worth. That's because we know our worth. We know we don't deserve to be mistreated. Okay? So that's with any woman. I don't care what race she is. No woman should tolerate a man abusing her physically, emotionally, and this, habitually cheating on her, and et cetera, et cetera. Because first of all, you got to love yourself. You got to respect yourself. You got to know your worth. Okay? If you don't, then why should a woman let a man walk all over you? No, I'm not going to love you unconditionally if you're mistreating me. Because that means you don't love me. Okay? If I was dogging you out, mistreating you, would you still love me? I think not. Relationships are not unconditional. Okay? You love your children unconditionally. You love your mother, your father unconditionally. Relationships come with conditions. I just don't want you to get that twisted. Let's not get it twisted. Okay, I might address you again some more. Uh, Sweet June 2010.